Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. West side, raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. The west side, raise it up. 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 Raise it up.
5, 4, 3.
Hey loves, hey loves, hey loves. My name is Wayne Vaughn. I also go by Y. And you are tuned in to another incredible episode of Raise It Up, Why, the podcast. We are coming at you the final Thursday in June 2026 in an episode we are calling, You Better Know We Just Gonna Recap Love Lounge Live LA. That's the whole name of the pod title, but we're just going to call this Love Lounge Live LA, all one word, love LUV, just like we spell it in Love Culture. Love Lounge Live LA 2026 recap. Make it real easy for all of us who were there to find this episode, to listen in. I got to see so many folks that I love and I'm learning to love as we are discovering more loves, you know, people we haven't seen in a long time. Folks we are just getting to see, people who've been around, but we're learning in new capacities. Like, we are doing it. Let me go ahead and introduce this thing. That's my second episode doing that. Introduce this thing. Once again, my name is Wayne Vaughn. I go by Y. If you have never been in my space before, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for popping on in. If I met you today earlier, this is Juneteenth, breaking the fourth wall. So we're gonna have a funky good time. Hey, now we're gonna take high. So hella black, okay? Juneteenth, for any of you who don't know, is the last day that the last slaves found out they were free. Yeah, this country signed that Emancipation Proclamation into existence in 1865. And considering we didn't have Twitter or social media or Threads or Instagram and Facebook, everyone didn't know they were free. So while people could still get free labor off of them, people were just still working. The last slaves to find out, slaves as in the transatlantic African enslavement by people in this country here called America, the last of those to find out that they were free happened on June 19th. I want to say 1866. So it was like a year later when they finally discovered it. And it goes back to the if one of us ain't free, we all ain't free conversation. And so I'm happy that we are doing this very blackety black owned conversation here on this. I messed up. I moved something. No, thank you. No, thank you. Onette said we don't do ugly stuff on June 13th. Oops. June 13th is when we got together for the Juneteenth. June 13th is when we got together for the Love Lounge Live LA. Oh, no, we're going to get through this episode, okay? It's Juneteenth. I'm technically supposed to be off, okay? You're welcome, all right? So she still showed up, type energy. You get me? So that's called a deflection. Okay, so yes, I'm just saying that to break the fourth wall when we're taping versus when you're going to get this. But I bring that up because I was over at OPA. Shouts out already to Cara and P over at OPA. We're going to talk about you in the Pay You Do section. But I met some incredible, beautiful ladies. Shouts out to our girl Laura. Shouts out to Yuri. Shouts out to Yolanda, who got a handpiece from OPA, much like mine. Only hers had little hearts and things and little like, if you look at my anklet, she has the same energy as my anklet, sort of a thing, but hers is all here. It's little hearts and stars. For everybody that's listening, this is doing nothing for you. Don't worry, I'll stop describing this in a second. However, also our girl America, all right? I met a woman named America today. Can we just This is the cutest thing ever. Shouts out to all of y'all, okay, at OPA and everything. But I bring that up because on this day, I got to even create a special piece from OPA for that chick right there, Onette, aka Easy Missil, aka Hot on the Arrangements. We'll talk about her soon, aka Onette _ Ashe on Instagram. Susie Cusey, What's a Doozy is over at work. Y'all know what it is, at Cup of Sue, what it do. My team 13 Presents is in the house, and I'm just so thankful for everything that they always do, putting us together, not only to tape this beautiful podcast, but what they did to set design, beautify, and run smoothly the Love Lounge Live LA that we just had. Again, we'll get into that in the break it down that's going to come after the Raise 'em Up in this episode. People who like this podcast, let's actually learn what Raise It Up Why is. Raise It Up Why is where OGs kick game to real ones only. We do that using non-corny positivity within hip-hop culture from the West Coast, most would call the best coast like I do, to the world. When we say we raise it up, what are we raising? Your self-awareness, your vibration, and your capacity for love, which is knowledge, okay? This space is home to Luv Culture, Luv Culture LCC. What's up? What's good? I just hit the west side looking LCC on a mission trying to find Miss YFE. Hey, hold up. Hey, sorry, allow this. All right. Some people have ADHD. I have music DHD. I have music in HD. Okay, what the fuck? No, I'm making that up, guys. But Luv Culture Community is kind of defined by three things, and let's see if you're a Luv. If you are a Luv, you, number one, listen to Raise It Up Why the podcast to root yourself. Number two, you do good for no good reason. I even have a Luv badge in real life that says so. Ote. When I edit this, if I remember, I might even zoom in right here on camera B, but don't expect it from me because I'm editing and I'm tired when I do it. Hear me? Hear me clearly. All right. So we do good for no good reason. That's the second tenet of Luv Culture's community. Okay. The third thing that makes you a part of Luv Culture is loving and respecting all red-blooded humans. It literally costs you zero to just provide love and respect for red-blooded humans. And we'll talk about that respect piece in a second, actually, because it went along with the theme of what happened when we talked about harmony. You know, me and Cara today, all we're talking about, she was like, and what is that? Harmony. And what is that? We're living harmoniously. Harmony. I said, oh, that was the big takeaway for her. Okay. So you'll hear about a few people's takeaways from Luv Culture and what we did on the 13th. I'm so thankful, once again, just to have everyone here in this space with me virtually, clearly, because this is a podcast. So I have you energetically in my heart, of course. I have all of you here with me in my heart. And also just making sure you know that if you've never been in a real room with Luv Culture, some of you know that we have a live stream that we do every week. We've been doing that live stream every week, every single week, at least once a week for over 6 years. This podcast started 7 years back. We say we have 8 years in because we went all 2019, all 2020. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So we're including all the episodes we did in 2019 all the way up to now. This is our 8th year that we're building out. We're building into our 8th year, even though 26 minus, 19 is going to give you 7. But the point is, I say that because if you've never been in a room with all of us, the closest thing you can get any other time is our live stream. At Wyann on WYANNA Instagram, on Instagram at WYANNA. That's the way you get to link with us weekly so we can chew through topics that are brought up here on this podcast. This podcast is an edutainment space. So it's a positive side of hip hop, introducing people to their self-worth within the hip hop culture that's worldwide. That's kind of deep. Sometimes the concepts can get a little heady. And because of that, for us to really chew through some of what we're talking about and digest it well, we have a live stream that acts like the seminar portion of this, what we would call the lecture portion of my classroom for life, if you will. The podcast would be the lecture, and then the live stream would be the seminar, because we actually get to connect with one another. Oh, but the Love Lounge is live. That's like the lab. That's like when you get in with people, you get to feel how these topics land. Because I think sometimes it's cool when we're just conversing like this and doing things like this or whatever. But when you're in community with people and you can hear your thoughts out loud and their effect on people, that's the part that I think that people miss when they keep everything virtual or theoretical. When you're in practicum, which is what last episode Podversations was about, the things that you do in theory versus what you do in practice. Some people say thoughts to themselves or to their network so much that they don't realize they sound crazy until they get around a new person. A comment that you're making and you don't realize, whoa, that comes off offensively. Something that you just say with your homies and around your people that you always know, and you get around somebody new and it's like, that could be taken racistly. If that's an adverb today. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, did you know? And it's like, no, I didn't know. You see what I'm saying? When you're in that lab portion of Raise It Up Y's sphere, our universe, which would be the Love Lounges Live, you get to see that maybe that self-deprecating remark you make about yourself, I'm just a dummy anyways, da-da-da-da. And when another love says, whoa, that's not love and respect to yourself. I don't want to hear you call yourself a dummy again, ever. Respectfully, let's find a new way to say that. But it's not Wyann telling you. It's not Onette telling you. It's Healed Women Heal. It's Tracy's daughter, Essie. It's somebody like that in the love culture or whatever. It might be Jodie's. Oh, wait, hold on. I know I'm a whole, trainer and I motivate people, but we don't put ourselves down to motivate ourselves. How'd that work? Put yourself down to go up? How'd that work? We don't do that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, shoot, I've never really auditioned that thought out loud. That's how I call it in my personal space. Sometimes we have a lot of things that we think and say a lot to ourselves, but because we're not around new and different people, we've never auditioned that thought out loud. Boy, how this comes up in dating. For any of you who are subscribed to my Patreon, especially at the love level, you've been at 13 minutes in, you've been getting some of, I'm not going to call them horror stories. They are hilarious stories, though. This stuff I think dating is hilarious. This is hilarious in my mid-40s. Are you kidding me? This is so funny, and it's so much fun. It's an adventure, but that'll all tell us about the word that we're learning today as Love's Cuzzins is coming back online for the Raise 'em Up. This will, in the Break It Down, we're going to talk more about what we learned and lived like at LuvLoungeLiveLA 2026. And then, of course, we're doing some Wyann's words of wisdom before we get up out of here. But every episode, we start with grounding, right? And grounding is the portion of this episode where I use a therapeutic tool called grounding that helps us really settle into this space. It makes sure that we're present, all right? And I say it sort of like a poem. And, I invite you to close your eyes unless you're operating heavy machinery, or if you're doing anything intricate like driving or crocheting. I don't know why that just came up, but don't do that. You understand me? Keep your eyes open in those cases. But for everyone else, I invite you to close your eyes and take a moment. Be here with me. Hear my voice. Feel all the way down into your feet. Bring your awareness up. Touch your nose after you wiggle your toes. And you're just doing that to make sure you're in your body for real. All right? Recognizing that you're here. Breathe a breath in. Blow a breath out. Do it again. In through your nose. And out through your mouth. Take yourself a moment. Own this. You're living a miracle called life. That you're breathing, you are winning simply by living this life, simply by spending this time with my voice right now. You're investing into your betterment. And I'd like you to sit with that and feel proud. And let's go up. Let's go up together. Let's do this raise them up. Raise them up, okay? Raise them up is the portion of the podcast where you get to, this is the closest you'll ever get to having me in a classroom, kids. Even if you're an adult kid. I teach adults all the time. So, you know, this is the closest you get to be in my class because I edutain in my Raise them Up sections. And every episode 2026, we are being edutained by Luv's Cuzzins. The first episode of 2026 in January was called Luv's Cuzzins, and we talked about the concept of to have healthy love. There are aspects that have to be present within love that aren't love itself. You won't, though, get healthy love without these aspects. Again, a love's cousin. This is not love itself, but it's a cousin. It's adjacent. It's related to love. It's an aspect of love that's not love itself, but without this aspect, you can't enjoy healthy love. Things we've talked about on the pod this year: January, value; February, accountability; March, commitment; April, respect, RESPECT, find out what it means to me; May, conversation or good communication. And here, this is June. We are looking at, drum roll please, whoop, curiosity. Curiosity almost killed my cat. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's Pride Month. Allow it to happen. Anyways, no, so check me out. Curiosity is the aspect of love that keeps folks from visiting, if you're married, the divorce lawyer. Curiosity is the portion during dating where people ask questions. It's you deciding to continue to learn another person adventurously, courageously, and discover something about them that can provide you more information to let you know, is this a person I find myself compatible with? Is this a person I might want to continue exploring life besides? Is this somebody I'd like? What does this person bring out in me that I do or don't like? This is when we start to learn that by dating someone, you actually start to recognize aspects of yourself that are either healed or unhealed, healed or still wounded. And a lot of people are scared to live in that truth, so they just avoid relationships all the time. We'll get into that in the Wyann's words of wisdom. Don't worry about it. Okay, so curiosity, funnily, I didn't look up the definition. Curiosity, I love the first thing that comes up, killed the cat. Definition. Curiosity by Cambridge Dictionary is defined as an eagerness, a desire to know, learn, or explore something. Curiosity is an eager desire to know, learn, or explore something. Fundamental drive behind discovery, questioning, and inquisitiveness. You gauge interest. You gauge interest with curiosity. All right, so boom. When you're in a loving relationship, a love interest, self-interest, work interest, friend interests. When you're in a relationship deciding to learn to love something, you have to explore that thing. Prayerfully, there is enough online with you that you might look at it and say, ooh, cute. ooh, intriguing. Ooh, low-key dangerous. Let me learn more. The leader in this area for me is a psychotherapist, a Belgian psychotherapist by the name of, if she's not a psychiatrist, I'm not sure, but her name is Esther Perel, Esther. Perel is Perel. Some of my favorite content of hers comes from her collabs on podcasts with Jay Shetty. She's been on there several times. I also saw her recently on Call Her Daddy, and she has her own podcast, Where Should We Begin? Or Where Should We Start, it might be called. If you go to her website, you'll see it plain as day, so let's not get cute. Also, she has a book that just turned 20 called Mating in Captivity. And what intrigued me about conversation with her on Jay Shetty's pod, this most recent episode that just came out a couple months ago, maybe weeks ago, I heard her talk to Jay Shetty about love and the discovery within the process of love. And she used the word, where is the eroticism? So interesting for me, because when I hear eroticism in conjunction with love, if you ever look at Steinberg's love triangle, one of the aspects of love outside of attraction and commitment is lust. So when we talk about eroticism, most times we're confusing the words love and lust. And the only time we look at something erotic, something sensual, something passionate is when we're talking about the sexual attraction, the lustful attraction to someone. However, where is that same fervor? What the kids say, keep that same energy when it comes to discovering somebody, right? When you want to learn someone, now mind you, I'm a social scientist, so this is kind of like preaching to the choir for me. I think humans are fascinating. And where, a car enthusiast might look at vehicles and be like, this is my jam, where scientists might look at microscopic cellular organisms and be like, man, this is my jam. I look at people and be like, this is my jam. I absolutely love watching, learning, discovering, tinkering with people and the dynamics of people and how they relate to one another. Where's the fervor, the je ne sais quoi? Where is it makes me like, if you could see me on Insta, that's hilarious. That would be on the live stream. But if you're looking at this podcast, you're probably on YouTube, and I thank you for that. And if you're listening anywhere that this can be consumed, I'm also very thankful. Faith comes by hearing. You can't unhear anything that you hear. So I'm very thankful for people who only listen as well. I do push more people to the YouTube, though, I think, because the show of the podcast with all of the set design that Onette makes for us, I just think it's so pretty. I would love for you guys to enjoy it there. However, when I talk about the eroticism or the fascination, the fervor, the passion for discovery, I'm not talking about sex, but it does make me it makes me feel the topic in my body. It's still not about lust. I'm still talking about discovering someone. And I feel that passionately about discovering my loves. I feel that passionately about learning P and Cara at OPA and discovering how they work. My nephews over at Spread Please in El Segundo, and their dad, Joshua, in Solodome. Like, when I've first ever met someone, I just think they're so interesting at what they do, or just interesting because they exist. I would love to learn more of your story. I feel that way about discovering people. It happens to me in my body. Onette, you've seen me in the studio. When I hear music, you can hum me something, I can already hear words to it. That's how I songwrite. I know that's not true for everybody. Some people are synesthesia. They live with synesthesia to the point where they hear and then they see color. Mm-hmm. Quick told me something about, I was in the studio with Andre Mego in Brooklyn a couple of weeks ago, and he was listening to something. He said, babe, I said, yeah. He said, put put the blue and the brown notes in there. I said, I'm sorry? He said, let me hear it again. And so he hummed what he heard, and he's like, put the blue and the brown notes in there. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I didn't know he had synesthesia. Like, I didn't know that that was a part of his lexicon of what he does. Me, I can hear a melody. I don't care if it's a bass line. It doesn't have to be someone humming. It doesn't have to be a human is what I'm saying. I can hear sound and see words. So when I'm helping an artist write and they're like, well, I do have a little bit of a melody, and it kind of goes like, I was working with this kid from American Idol. This was also 13 years ago. Josh Ledette. I was working with him, and my boy, shouts out to Gordon Campbell and a whole bunch of other guys, Preston Harris. We were all working with this guy, and he's humming things. And I'm like, oh, here's what you said. I mean, you can amend this as well, but here's what I heard you say, I should say. And like 90% of the song, 98% of the song was kept, because he was like, that's exactly what I'm like. That's just what I feel that sense of something in melody. So when I meet someone, I feel that level of curiosity and discovery and exploration and adventure at meeting them. They don't have to do anything for me. I don't, at OPA today, they were like, you should work here. I'm buying this because of her. Don't you want a job here? I like to come here, add value, love on my girls, and go. That's just me. I want to do it because I just want to do it. I love helping. I love encouraging encouragers. You know what I'm saying? So the curiosity factor that Esther Perel speaks of, even on her website, if you go there, one of the big banners that comes up right now, because who knows when you'll listen to this and what will be there then. One of the quotes from her book, Mating in Captivity, she says, eroticism lives in the imagination. And I think that's what's happening. The creativity of imagination, the playfulness, the deliciousness. I heard her say that word about love. Where's the delicious? Where's the surprise? Where's the exploration? I mean, love is active. She said this about love on Jay Shetty's pod, the most recent episode here in 2026. Love strengthens itself when it overcomes. Like, you have to think about love and find the expansion in it. In the world of like business, people will talk about, well, I came up against a wall, so I had to pivot. Everything don't got to be a pivot. Why not allow it to integrate with you? You add it to your repertoire and expand. Onette met me as a professor 13 years ago, coming up on 13 years ago. She met me as a professor. I never only called myself a professor. From the day you met me, I was an edutainer, right? I would leave you guys, go to the studio with Dr. Dre. There I was an entertainer. And whenever we would be till 3 and 4 in the morning, I'd be like, Dre, you know I got to go and beat LA traffic to get home so I can take a 4-hour nap to get ready to do all this over again with my kids at my college. He was like, oh, right, you're the professor too. I'm like, yeah. So he tried to use the name The Professor on me. It didn't stick. I ended up becoming the voice of reason on his show. But the idea is I didn't abdicate either of my sides. I only became more of the educator and the entertainer. And as I kept doing one, it kept double dutching and folding into the other, to the point where I don't know that anybody just sees me and sees an educator. I would be very surprised. Or maybe they only know me from one environment, maybe. But the expansion of that, especially don't get the therapeutic side in. Therapeutic edutainer. I just tack it on. I didn't anticipate myself to become a social media strategist, but during the pandemic, when there was no other way to gig and do anything in person, I found new ways to connect with people using social media, which was strategic and got very good results. So I know how to do it. So if somebody were to say, could you, manage a social media account? I'm like, could I? I do. Right. I'm not going to say I'm a social media strategist per se, but it's a part of my expanded Wyann. You know what I'm saying? What I do. So remain curious. And remaining curious in terms of exploring in love and relationship is so important because of these 5 features to relationship that Jay Shetty talks about. Andre Mego, of course, my twin in Brooklyn, from Texas, but currently in Brooklyn. Happy belated birthday as well, kiddo. He brought this to my attention. And there's like these 5 levels of falling in love or relationship with someone. The first 3 will get you into a relationship. The final 2 will determine whether you stay in relationship. So here they go if you want to write them down. For love to develop in relationship, we're looking at number 1, physical attraction, clearly. It's the first thing any of us know about anybody. All right, cool. 2, we're looking at materialism, the material parts of you. Things like, do you mesh with me on paper? People have lists and they have, okay, these are the things that I think I want. What is this person's reputation? When people see this person, what do they associate with them? Does that mesh with me? That's number 2 thing that people consider when going into relationship. Number 3, intellect. Can they hold a conversation? Do I respect their level of intelligence? If you like the way someone looks, if you think they're high value and you think you're high value, and if the conversation is on par enough, you'll start a relationship just from these 3. However, number 4, and why I'm talking about it in today's episode, is emotional capacity. Emotional capacity will determine whether you stay in relationship with this person. Because in someone's discovery of you and your discovery back of them, you'll see, wait. Oh, you only have room for me to be your cuddy buddy, your bedroom buddy. I'm a big, huge whole person. Yeah, I enjoy sex and all that stuff is cool, but emotionally, do you have capacity for anything more with me? This will make a lot of sense. When any of you at the Love Level and Patreon listen to the current the dating story that goes along with this young man, the nurse. Oh, poor him. Love to that man in the world wherever he is. However, yeah, I have a propensity to start asking folks, do you have any questions for me? Because I'm inquisitive. I'm curious. I think that people are worthwhile to learn. So then after a while, when I don't hear anything back, I start to become someone's entertainment. Or they feel like they're getting interviewed by me. So they're like, "Ooh, I love this. Give me more." Like, I'm not performing for you. This is really me. So in that Patreon episode, you'll learn how I dealt with that, how I deal with learning about where my parameters are and how I have to show up to make sure that there's reciprocity in these relationships. But all that comes into play at the emotional capacity level. All right. And the 5th and final level that Jay Shetty talks about, spiritual. You can get through all those and something spiritually, energetically, connective tissue will tell you that you're either in or out with a person. And that's a tough sell when really the spiritual part of someone is apparent from the moment you meet them. Energetically, there's something, right? There's always a certain energy. That's a spiritual communication that you can't quantify. I know last episode I talked about communication and things. We only really talked about the verbal stuff. We didn't talk about nonverbal and we didn't talk about vibe. And Leon Thomas told us, vibes don't lie like the mouth do. Ooh. Real, you give up what it come out to. Hey, come on, censorship, Wyann. Hey, come on now. Anyways, my point is, ladies and gents, and however you identify here in Pride Month, I'm very interested in seeing how this information falls on you. And if you want those, just again, those 5 levels, in case anybody just wants a review of them: physical, material, intellectual, emotional capacity, and spiritual. Those 5 describe a consummate love. You only need the first 3 to start a relationship with someone: physical, material, and intellectual. Your emotional capacity and your spiritual connection will determine whether you stay. And sometimes those things are only revealed in a relationship. Much like Esther Perel talks about, love strengthens itself when it overcomes. What happens when your first fight is your final fight? I know that. I've lived that, unfortunately. When your first fight is your final fight because you've never seen what someone scared looks like. When you've never seen what someone who doesn't know when things or where things are, they don't deal well with ambiguity or uncertainty, and how they look for safety and what sometimes strange coping mechanisms they have to attempt to refine safety or what they think is safety. You got to go to know. Go back to that words of wisdom from my girl Wendy from the Revolution. That was Prince's band. I told that story a couple years back on this podcast. Her words to me in 2017, when you're scared about something and you're looking to discover who you'll be and how you'll be when you get somewhere you don't know, you got to go to know. You literally have to go to know. It's the only way you'll discover. So, Curiosity, episode 97's Love's Cousin. Let's go into the break it down. Baby. Listen, in case you don't know what the purpose of a love lounge is, where Raise It Up Y and Wayne Vaughn and 13 Presents ... is concerned, Love Lounge events are extensions of Raise It Up Y, the podcast, dedicated to the purpose of addressing the worldwide epidemic of loneliness by building culture through communication and connection. Love Lounges tie in segments from Raise It Up Y to bring coaching, conversation, and connection via hip-hop culture to safe spaces on and off the World Wide Web. Why that's important? Going to OPA today, I had a love lounge basically with Lauda and Yuri and America and Yolanda, as well as Kara. Just some of the conversations we were having, it was a real moment for connection, conversation, community. Connection, conversation, and community. Those things are so important to me. I've seen it address and even heal the loneliness that is a worldwide epidemic. That's another conversation for a different day. You can look up Dr. Vivek Murthy's work. Vivek, Vivek, Murthy, Murthy. You can look up Dr. Vivek Murthy's work, and he can tell you more about the epidemic of loneliness. But I am fully convinced that friendship, that connection, that community is one of the, if not the answer to healing this wound, where a lot of Puritanism, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, manifest destiny from seed to shining seed. No, I came in this world alone. I'm going to die alone. I got me. It's only me out here. All the silos, every playlist that's different from everybody else's playlist, all of your timelines, everybody's siloed experience of life. While it's great for the autonomy and the creativity of being your own autonomous person, it kills your ability to experience harmony. Harmony is your ability to respect how one person functions, and you get to find your way to play around in space around them. Harmony is relationship in sound. Harmony is relationship in sound. For all my singers out there, if I'm singing, ha, that third above is ha, that fifth above is ha, ha, ha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm counting to 21 in French. That's how I learned to count. That's a We're gonna walk around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till the broad daylight. But my French teacher taught us how to count to 21 in French. 27 is how you say 21. It gets a little cloudy between 15 to 20. Don't, Onette, let me be. How about that? Nobody asked for all that. The Love Lounge Live event was extraordinary. M Breezy on Instagram got to meet Luv Badger. Flower got to realize that she definitely flashed on Love Dallas when she was bodyguarding for Yo-Yo at a hip-hop concert. Love Dallas had to send me the picture like, why? I was trying to tell her I knew her from Luv Culture. I'm like, you don't understand. When Love Flower is in security mode, she doesn't see you. She knows her objective and that about it. We got to listen to we got to hear updates from Crisis, who's been on his health journey, and also Love Jodi's and him got to talk about possibly doing some more working out at Equinox. I mean, Love Cash flew from Raleigh, North Carolina to be with us and won his OPA chain, 18 karat gold filled chain. Talk to him nicely. Talk to him forever nicely. So we had a whole virtual Love Lounge that was run by Love Jackie Jo Foster, wife of Tony Foster Jr. in Luv Culture. We got married couples in Luv Culture. We have dating people in Luv Culture. We have LGBTQ plus members in Luv Culture. We have Luv Culture members who pray with their palms up and with their palms together. We have people that voted for 44 and 47 in Luv Culture. When we come together, we come here for the purpose of being good to one another, starting with ourselves. As evidenced by, y'all are going to see me open this as I used it to definitely blot my lip gloss. So sorry about that, Dad. My dad misunderstood the assignment. You know how the kids say, you understood the assignment? My dad misunderstood the assignment. When you first came into Love Lounge Live that day on the 13th, you were supposed to go to the big red table, right? You were supposed to take one of the cards, put a message of encouragement, and you were going to put it in the pink and gold bag with your name on the outside of it for somebody else to take. You're only putting your name on the outside of it to make sure that you don't take what you came with. The point was, everybody came here abundant. And we're all going to leave here more full even than when we came, because we're going to share this generosity within ourselves. We're going to encourage another love. Which other love? Who knows? Because it's all random. People were just pulling it randomly, and all they had to do was not be able to look at, not be able to take their own name. But they were all in just like this. Again, don't worry about this part. I blotted it. Talk to me nicely. All right. My dad said to Rue from Dad, if you don't know why he called me Rue, you are not in my inner circle and you won't know. So don't worry about that. Let's, on camera, see what Dad, this could blow up in my face, actually. I don't know what this man, 6/13/2026. Oh, Dad, love and respect. That's what will make this world a better place. And he wrote that from my grandfather, the man of this house that we inherited. My grandfather, Papu, that's what we called our grandfather. And he put WV on there. Can you see that? Can they see it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My daddy, I love you, Dad. Love and respect. What Dad doesn't even know is that the third tenet of love culture is to love and respect all red-blooded humans on and off the World Wide Web. So you want to talk about how ingrained love culture is to the intimacy of my own family of origin? Mind you, my grandfather said that, and my grandfather was born in 1915 in the very starkly racist South, the state of Arkansas. His father was an alcoholic and physically abusive to him. He got a 6th grade education and dropped out so he could work to make sure that he helped sustain my dad's family, and ended up moving my grandmother and himself out west came right out here to LA and never drank a lick of alcohol. Raised all of his children with love and respect online. Never even took a switch to them. I think my grandmother was the one that had to take the switch to people if she did. But my grandfather's whole thing was everything that happened to him, it stops with him. He intentionally raised this family. The level of love that we have in Luv Culture with respect to every other member of my family, in my personal opinion, it came from my grandfather and grandmother on my dad's side. This house that we're currently living in, the house right now that if you looked at Questlove's biography for Maurice White and Earth, Wind and Fire on HBO Max, my grandmother in this kitchen that we're in right now would make dinner for Maurice White that he talks about in his autobiography. And in this kitchen, different table, same setting though, same place, different table. My grandmother would make food for Maurice White of Earth, Wind and Fire while my dad and him worked on music. The garage back there is where my dad wrote and laid the demo down for Let's Groove with my mom. So when you hear, and fly like a 747, we're about 15 minutes from LAX. When you're recording analog, reel to reel, shouts out to DJ Quick, who just got all his analog stuff. So he's very happy right now, like a kid in a candy store in his personal studio. Because you're dealing with real frequencies, this is not digital. This is not durable for any situation. It's sensitive to what's around it. That's why music in the 70s sounded like it did. It picked up the vibrations in the room. That's not my IP. I learned that from DJ Quick, just so you guys know. But every time a plane would go by, it would ruin the take that my mom and dad were recording. The let the screw set in your shoes, it's all right. When you hear them singing, when you hear them doing that, you don't know how many takes they had to do, because if a plane went over, it would make the like it would malfunction the take. So vibration is real. We talked about that spiritual aspect in just the segment ago and Raise 'Em Up Why for Jay Shetty. The spirit, the part that you can't see, but it's affecting, it's metaphysical, right? That's the love that we share at Love Lounges Live. Every week we do a version of that virtually. That's the digital love. When we are analog, when we are in real life, okay, and everyone's mood can affect the message that day. The collective consciousness gets affected by. Did we not pause for 5 minutes to watch the last part of the Knicks becoming the 2026 champions? My girl, shouts out to my girl Angela that came. She's the head of the LA chapter of the Recording Academy of the Grammys and all that for Los Angeles. She had her phone crisis. I saw I had his. I'm like, what are they watching? It's game 5. The Knicks are about to win. That I literally thought about that while I was up there talking. So Jackie Joe, if you were running the Love Lounge virtual, if you saw me like get off around that time right before the break happened, that was what was happening. All of this was really affecting us. Love Mitzen came from going to the Hollywood Bowl where the Blue Note was having an experience. Terrace Martin was my first call on Saturday. What you doing? What you doing today? I said, boy, I got my live pod. He said, oh, you're not coming to the Hollywood Bowl, the Blue Note. My dad, when he walked in, the first thing he said, that's where I was supposed to be. A lot of people who would have been at my event were at the Blue Note, but people were texting, sending their love, sending videos. Yeah, I'm here, but just know my heart is with Luv Culture. All of that went into this event, okay? P and Cara created, P specifically, Paulette from OPA engraved the pieces from OPA with Raise It Up Y on the heart, on the back. You don't have that. Yours has 13 because you're 13 Presents. But Susie won one of them. Hers says Raise It Up Y on the back. Cash's says Raise It Up Y. The kid Andres, our boy Andy Almada, says Raise It Up Why on the back of his. Like, you guys, the event was incredible. And again, I don't know how to describe our events. Cara, when I asked her earlier, she said, we are harmony. That's what I felt when I was there. And that was Cara's first time. She's a new Luv. Wendy, who's been at every single one and, you know, doing her thing, I just asked her earlier, I said, what did you take from this LuvLoungeLiveLA? And she said, you know what? I contacted Essence. And I didn't even know, when she said Essence, I didn't even know who the hell that was, because I call Essence Essie because her name on Instagram is Bruh, It's Essie. She's the daughter of Healed Women Heal, or Tracy's Healing Room, who has a new book out on Amazon. Make sure you guys go pick that up. They came strictly because Wendy just happened to reach out and say, man, am I going to see you? I won't be able to make it to Wyann's event, but will I see you on the virtual lounge? And she said, wait, what event? What are you saying? And that only happened a day before, 24 hours before. They rearranged their schedule to make it out. Miss O'Faith didn't think she would be able to come. Olivia hit me in my DMs. Why? Are there any Luv Covered tickets? There were so many Luv Covered tickets. I was just so happy that she took the risk to ask. I'm like, girl, I've been trying to find more people. Yes, she made it all the way out. So I just need you guys to know, Luv Culture is something I created. I get it. But it's only a culture because there's a community. Like, because the people come in and they participate. I could be going live every week talking to my damn self on Instagram, kiddo. I really could. It's a community because people come and join the conversation and communicate alongside one another and with me. That's where I have to say I am in servitude to this space. I created it, yeah, but y'all come, you support financially. At Junior High LA on Instagram, we raised a good amount of money for them because every ticket sold was split 50-50 at the door. Whatever we got as Luv Culture, they got as Junior High LA. They were like, please don't make this your last event here. I said, and I'll be honest with you, it's Pride Month, right? Luv Culture is a part of Raise It Up Why. Raise It Up Why was begun from the hip hop cultural space and helping people learn their self-worth, but from within this space. What I know about hip hop and the LGBTQ plus community is that hip hop's representation of how it spoke on folks, members of the LGBTQ plus community, it wasn't kind. I understand that. I'm not running from that. This is called integration, by the way, where you're not running from your past, but you're not living by the standards of your past. Ladies and gentlemen, press update. Keep yourself curious, because we're not going to act like Queen Latifah ain't been a beautiful lesbian woman, married to a woman, has a beautiful son. All right. Let's not act like Doechii ain't one of the hardest rappers right now and is completely bisexual. Let's not also talk about like Tyler, the Creator, like he's not bisexual doing his thug thizzle. You understand me? Like, people have been very open about who they are and how they are within the culture. Press update. That's all I'm going to say. Press update. Deciding to have this very hip hop oriented space in a safe space for LGBTQ plus members was so intentional, because we have supported young white male entrepreneurs like Spread Please, their dad, Joshua at Solo Dome. We have supported Latina-owned, faith-based and mama-owned companies like OPA. We have endorsed and been a part of Haroni arrangements, very Habesha-owned. Talk to her nicely. She's right back there, by the way. But very Habesha-owned spaces, Black-owned hair products like The Do and I Love The Do. We don't shy away from shining support and love and respect and light on anyone. Why the hell should we shrink away from the LGBTQ plus space? Let me tell it. This is how Wyann Vaughn, myself, this is my IP. This is how I feel about situations. While I teach at USC and when I taught at Pasadena College before, and anywhere else, Crenshaw High, all the places I've taught, any of my students were going to get all of my love. Why make it weird or quirky just because we're now talking about hip hop? Never has been a part of my IP, my intellectual property. Never has. So I'm not going to start nothing that doesn't represent who I've always been, as evidenced by my dad putting a message that we live by in our third tenet of love culture that came from my grandfather, born in 1915. Racist South, abuse, alcoholism. He didn't ever strike a child of his, aka my dad and his siblings. He never drank a drop of liquor. Be true to you. Be authentic to you. And as we get into this Wyann's words of wisdom, in love culture, we seek to love one another, right? But much like the Bible says, you want to be able to love thy neighbor. The second part of that says, as you love yourself. Challenge. What happens when you learn in loving your neighbor that you actually don't possess love or respect for yourself? What happens when you're the last to know, right? That's where you have to remain curious, buoyant, and more interested and intrigued with the discovery of self. Me and Andre Mego were having that conversation with the Jay Shetty pieces, and I was realizing that there were certain aspects of people that I was attributing to their intellect, and Andre kept having to say, well, let's take it deeper to spirit. If it was never something that they saw modeled, how could they know it to employ it? And that occurrence happened several times in a conversation we were having. Andre, you know this conversation. And as it happened the third time, I said, Andre, I have a pattern. This is Wyann as a self-aware person. I have a pattern of attributing to people things that I see to the fact that they know better. And this is the third time you've had to say, but what if this is something that they're learning and they didn't know it? Mind you, Wendy has said the same things before too. So I don't want to just give the IP to Andre. I just realized, oh my God, I never finished what I said about Wendy. My sister, when she brought up Essie and Tracy and what she learned from LuvLoungeLiveLA this time around, she said sometimes you can be the reason that people learn about something. And it taught me not to take things personally, because how many times had you told Tracy or tagged Tracy and bruh, it's Essie in, certain posts that was inviting them to Love Lounge Live LA? And I said several for at least 3 weeks. Like all my LA based loves, I was tagging them. She said, so in all of those, and they even responded in DMs and stuff like that, and they just maybe didn't connect that was happening still. She said, if that can happen at that level, and she kept calling it something with a D, dosing. In communication or in marketing and something like that, you dose people because you have to know that sometimes they won't get it the first time. She says, so if in something as benign and placid as coming to Love Lounge Live LA, they needed maybe that personal call, that personal text that Wendy gave Essie, and that was the way that they said, oh my God, Love Lounge Live LA, of course I want to go. They always probably wanted to go. It was never personal that they didn't piece together that when I was tagging them and all the stuff that I was also inviting them out. It's not personal. She said, so if that can happen in this case here with the podcast, how many times does that happen in our relationships at home where we're telling our partner something, and it seems like they're still going through whatever is the undesired behavior. And then when your sister, your mother, their friend says the exact same thing that you've been saying, and then they say, wow, I get it now. For some of us, we will go into a full-on rage like, I've been telling you that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, are you joking me? Like, what? You know, it almost feels personal. Like you're just trying not to listen to me. Wendy said, watching that play out and how happy Essie and Tracy were to come, and they were so happy that they didn't miss it. She said, it's just an error of communication that happens. Sometimes you need to hear it from someone else to get it. She said, I know that doesn't seem like it should be something I take away. I said, no, your takeaway is your takeaway, and I'm going to share it on the pod. Her takeaway was, in the dosing of information, not to take things personally, because you never know when the time you're going to get it is. You see what I'm saying? And why that was still important in this. Now I'll start the Wyann's words of wisdom. Why that was important in the Wyann's words of wisdom is, this is going to sound like it doesn't make sense, so just let me cook. It's tough to hug a porcupine. It's tough. Whew. Attempting to hug a porcupine. Have you ever seen a porcupine? You know what it is, right? It looks like a hedgehog. Look up an image of a porcupine. And I'm telling all of you guys to do that now in Luv Culture who's listening. Or if you're not in Luv Culture and you're just listening to this podcast. A porcupine is a form of a hedgehog, let's just call it, with these long spiked quills on its back that are sharp and they can hurt. And what happens is it keeps a healthy distance from the body of the animal and anything that would be coming towards it. Anything. Friend or foe. So what happens is a lot of us don't realize that we have porcupine tendencies. We have quails that are sharp and extended such that it doesn't matter how close someone tries to come towards us, we keep people at a certain bay, whether we realize it or not, depending on how self-aware we are. So I want to talk about some insecure attachment styles and how different ones keep people away. And I'm going to just spoil this. Next episode, security is Love's cousin. So this is like a lead up. We're going to look at the opposite of secure attachment first. And then it may help you to discover how people then in insecure formats accidentally keep people away, even though people who live with avoidant attachment, people who live with anxious attachment, and people who live with fearful avoidant attachment, they deserve love too. And so looking at Kara's takeaway from LuvLoungeLiveLA, we all live in harmony. I have to see what your note is, though, to learn how to sing around you. Here's the thing. As we discover who we are, our note will continue to evolve. It's not that we're trying to change notes or change how we sing or change what we're doing. But maturation is a change. Evolution is a change. When you improve your credit score, guess what? It changes because improvement means change. When you meet your fitness goal, guess what? Your body changes. It's a part of the gig. All right. So here are some of the ways that we avoid living in our truth. If our truth is our real note, we've learned, however old years we are, We've learned to be one way. If we had an upbringing where we learned to be more logical and independent, we might become what's called avoidance attachers. And the way to stay safe is we use competence and what we think is independence, which is actually counterdependence. And you know the difference because an independent person can accept and win and swim in places where there's connection. A person who is counterdependent only can extend a hand for help, but doesn't take yours because I have to be the savior. I can help you, but nobody can help me. Because an avoidant has an attachment worldview that says, I'm definitely okay, but people are not. That's the quill. You keep people away and at bay. So what is in the shadow of the avoidant attacher? Your vulnerability and your capability to connect. You don't let people see you're messy. And guess what's messy? Life, love, humanity. I don't know if you've ever become a parent, being a parent, because being a parent is real-time reaction. You have to get your hands dirty. If you've ever potty trained, like my beautiful niece. Why? I go pee. Oh, nice. And when she's done peeing, she gets ready to just pull up her pants. Hold on. We got to dab. As she's getting dabbed, her little brother, my 2-year-old big boy nephew, comes in and he wants to take and play in the pee. That just happened while we were next door. This all just happened. I was like, wait, what? Like this. And I'm not a parent. You understand? I've taught parent education. Reference episode 96. Damn it, Carol. Or come on, Carol. That's what it was. Come on, Carol. But I definitely taught parent education. I have a degree in child development and family studies. Listen, that degree is also called birth control. I know this shit is messy. Trust me. See, talking about kids, my first time I got to use the S word. Anyways, real life is messy and it requires the S word. So I'm letting you guys know that though, because you're going to get dirty if you're living life for real. So if everything is too picture perfect, you might be avoiding real life. All right. Anxious. Let's see how you keep people distant to where it's hard for someone to hug you and to love you for real because you're keeping people at arm's distance and at bay. Anxious attachers amplify emotional reactions, usually to be seen where they feel unseen, and they put out extra bids for connection because they think that's the only way they'll stay safe is in community and connection. So what's in the shadow of the anxious attacher? Your boundaries and your sense of independence. Your autonomy is in your shadow. Early on, you were taught to be too independent would mean nobody is trying to connect with you. Mind you, just for a little bit of history in child development, you create your attachment styles starting around the 4-month mark all the way into 18 months. You're not doing this on purpose. You're so smart as an infant. You're seeing what will keep you in community with your caregiver because it's your survival. Don't judge yourself if you're finding your truth in any of the statements I'm making currently. You did it because you were keeping yourself alive. Pat yourself on the back. Okay? Be a little kinder, a little gentler to yourself. Remain curious. Let's just explore these topics without taking them so personally. All right? So, anxious attachers, because you have a worldview that says, I'm not okay, but people are, You go out into the world jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship. I really could do a different second episode. Oh, every time I think about the Patreon mini pod, it's called Shh, Wyann is sharing. Yo, every time I think about that and I think about a certain person that goes with one of these things, I'm like, that'll have to be the next episode. That'll be the next episode. There's so many. It's like, boop, 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 boop. I'm trying to tell you something. Okay, so point being, anxious attachers will try to make you responsible for them because you're clearly okay. So I need you to regulate me. I don't know how to regulate myself. I don't know how to make myself feel safe. So I need you to show up for me all the time or I won't be okay. And you love me, don't you? And Wyann says, nigga, please, please. That's how I say it, So going into fearful avoidance or disorganized attachments. Disorganized attachers find safety in meaning making and story building. Hey, shouts out to all my limerent people. People who have learned to self-regulate with the ideal story about someone. Oh, they don't mean to hurt me. They've just been hurt, so they only know how to hurt people. Don't worry, I can still love them. That's not safe. And that's rooting your relationship with someone in a story. What's real is the part you overlooked. You said, oh, they're hurting me because. Stop. You just identified that you feel hurt by this person. Love don't hurt. Stop. Like being in the gym. No pain, no gain. You could be ripping your muscle. Well, all working out is ripping your muscle. You could be straining your muscle. You could be really hurting yourself if you don't pay attention to the information your body is giving you. Your emotions do the same thing. Your feelings do the same thing. So if you regulate with stories and you keep a bunch of meaning making online, my fearful avoidance, my hearts, what you are trying to protect yourself from, aka what's in your shadow, is honesty and reality. Honesty and reality. The reality is, I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm a good person, but you cheated. Again and again. I hear the story you have about yourself. I'm a good person. That's a good story. What do good people do? And did you do it? No? Then we have to look at the disparity because that's what's real. What did you do? That's real. Imagine talking to the person that, unalived people, and all of them are saying, I plead not guilty. Why? Because I know I'm a good person. Ain't this you on, what the kids say, this you? Ain't this you on this tape pulling out this weapon, doing this thing and hurting this other person? Yeah, but you got to understand, I know I'm still a good person though. Okay, you can be a good person that did this act because this is real. There's no story online here. You being a good person, that's a story. It's a narrative. Fearful avoidance worldview is, I'm not okay, but don't worry, you're not okay either. This is the exact opposite of securely attached people. And the secure worldview says, I'm okay how I am, and you're okay how you are. I just get to choose how close I'm going to be to you as a result. Right? So fearful avoidance or disorganized attachers are in the shadows. You are the complete 180 of a securely attached person. So to all my people who lived and grew up secure, I'm not going to get into you because that's episode 98. When you get in a relationship with any of these three, anxious, avoidant, fearful avoidant, which is basically anxious and avoidant together, disorganized attachment, all of your security in the world can't make their insecurity secure. Much like in math, when you're working with integers, a negative times a positive renders a what result? Negative. Division or multiplication. Your answer will be negative. All it takes is 1. Okay? In the world of addition and subtraction, when the signs aren't the same, if there's a negative and a positive integer around, I don't care which one comes first, 7 minus 5 or 5 minus 7, you're dealing with a subtraction. You're dealing with subtraction, okay? Something is taking away from something, all right? I mean that to say, for all of my secure people, hopefully you find yourself in relationship with people who are looking to be healed if they're not already secure, because there is no amount of well you can be to make a sick person healthy. There's no amount of well that you are. All my people who call, I'm an empath. No, you're anxious. No, because you need to fix yourself. You understand? You need to, because I'm a fix me. I'm a fix me before I be in. No. You're an avoidant. No, you don't understand. I understand that these are the ways that things are in the world, and I'm gonna end up, fixing this because they were, I understand why this happened, because when you are creating a narrative, telling a story to yourself, and idealizing something, you are fearful avoidant. These are all ways to avoid what's actual and what's real. And all of the ways that you can avoid reality are the ways that you keep the quills of your porcupinic back erected, and therefore you keep people who could probably help, whether it's a mental health professional, a therapist, a counselor, a life coach, an emotional intelligence coach, a class you could take, real conversations like we have in the Love Lounge, whether it's a Love Lounge Live in LA or if it's one on the @Wyann page on Instagram in the live stream. Dealing with reality is one of the ways that you start to heal these wounds that keep you and your reality a little far away. And therefore, everyone who's in reality but wants to be close with you will always have a distance. Even if they're hugging you, there will always be some cognitive dissonant distance to where they won't be able to be in with you. All right? You might feel like you're on an island by yourself. You might feel like nobody's there with you. You might feel like I'm so alone and I'm so lonely. I'm not discrediting any of your feelings. They're all valid. The next question is, as Adlerian psychology would say, where do you want to go from here? As Esther Perel's entire podcast says, so where should we start? And I'll add to that, where should we start healing? Okay? That's how you get back into connection, real authentic connection. And to do that, you have to remain curious. You have to remain buoyant. You have to remain adventurous. You have to remain courageous, fearless even. Not fearless forever to the point where it's, too far off the rails, but there's a little amount of courage for real I'm going to need you to step into so that we can live in a shared reality. Put down the bottle, put down the money, hoes, and clothes, put down whatever your defense mechanisms are, your survival kits, all the smoking, all the drinking, all the gambling, all the sex, all the porn, all the lies, all the addiction to your pain stories, all your trauma stories. Living in reality, starting now, asking where you want to go. Those are the ways that we go up, much like the pod talks about. And before I get up and mother love and go, bang, bang, I have a Canadian tuxedo on. What was this week? This is what he wore for the Grammys. I am a lover. You will discover not undercovers, unless you're my lover. I'm so sorry for anybody that didn't enjoy that. So yeah, Pay Your Dues is the portion of the podcast where we big up entities, companies, businesses, people that are filled with love. And I want you to know more about. All of the folks you're going to hear about in this episode were integral in making Love Lounge Live LA happen. Let's start with the one, the only, every episode, Juneteenth, Black-owned business, at I Love the Do, I Thought You Knew, at LuvTheDoux on Instagram. My cousin Maya Smith, my cousin Brian Smith are veteran-owned, Black-owned, Black married-owned hair care products that can be found all over the world. You can also visit TheDoux.com, thedo.com, and see these incredible products that I use on all my hairs. Grew me down my back, hair by Quista, let's talk about it, all the way down, okay? They have a little bit of something for anybody, good for all hair types. It's Black owned, but it's for anyone who enjoys being good to their hair. If you are a part of the Black community, if you are not a part of the Black community, you can still find a product there that is good for your beautiful curls. Or if you a straight gangster like me, they have the line, the thermal press play heating system. I didn't say that correctly. Don't worry about that. The point is they got it. All right. And you can go on their website and discover the products that keep you fried, dyed, and blow dried. Not fried. It was from a commercial. Don't worry about it. All right. Number 2. Now that I botched that one. Number 2, at WaVa Life, had that blue rose tepache on Piggity Point type energy. And Breezy was like, what in the heck is this? I said, that ain't nothing but Wayne Vaughn. My baby brother, like no other, has at WaV as in Victor, a WaVa products. Again, on Instagram, WaVa Life, WaVa Life. These are probiotic drinks and foods that are great for your gut, your second brain. Very good for brain gut connection, making sure that you are eating, and you are what you eat, by the way, but making sure that you are processing down your foods the way you intend to. All right. It was such a good addition to Love Lounge Live LA, and everybody who is a little grown was like, man, this would be good with some tequila. I'm like, see, why did we go there? We didn't have to. It was the two people that brought it up was what killed me. I was like, y'all didn't even talk to each other. And when they would, I said that. I'm like, okay. So Cash, I'm looking at you, Wayne, AKA Dad. I'm looking. All right, cool. So number 3. Haroni.arrangements, HARONI.arrangements on Instagram created this beautiful piece. And you know what? It changed my whole outfit. I was wearing something completely separate. And when I saw these beautiful pinks and purples and white and, oh man, the little yellow is in here, green. Something about my little Canadian tuxedo came to me. And this is just my other lover, custom shirt. Talk to us nicely. Only 13 Presents team members have this. This is not part of the merch run. I thought however, we did have number 4 at Luv Culture, real life Luv Badges. Talk to her nicely if you talk to her ever or at all. Come on, talk to it at Quintessential Designs, my boy Quentin, also on Instagram as Q the Music, or Full Circle Moments 360. He has a couple businesses. However, his personal page is music page because he's also a rapper and everything else. Q the Music, the letter Q and the Music, created these beautiful Luv Badges for us under his Instagram title, Quintessential Designs. And it's our second tenant on here. Do good for no good reason for Luv Culture, which is right here. And on the back, I don't think they can see it. You can't see the back. On the back is engraved at Raise It Up Y, so everyone knows where to go. So I enjoy this. It was a big hit. Everybody really liked them, and we only just, it was just the $5 that we do on the Instagram Luv Badges, and everyone who got these, they were like, "Why? This is low key like a vibe." I'm like, I know, because we do vibey stuff. Much like that was number 4. Let's go to number 5. Our girl, Gerica Preston at PDA Parade. Is that not such a cute name for a business? My homegirl wanted to come and support Raise It Up Y and LuvLoungeLiveLA. And she said, "Why? Would you mind if I brought my camera? I'm doing a wedding, and I just, I'm doing my first wedding," I think she said, at the end of the month. And I just wanted to have, a little more practice under my belt. Would you mind if I came and shot you some shots? And I'm like, yes. She's like, "Okay, so how do I buy a ticket?" I says, "You just bought your ticket. What are you talking about? Get your butt here. Let's go. Come bring your butt." At PDA Parade, spelled correctly, took beautiful photos of us. I'm posting them. I was literally going to post them earlier today, but creating an OPA, which is of course number 6, under Luv Culture and all the stuff that we do. OPA and my girl Cara over there, we designed the custom piece for Onet today. So it took a little longer than expected, so I didn't get to do my posting. And by the way, my engagement is higher on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday anyway, so I'm not losing anything. However, I just am enjoying OPA _ collection. Every new, listen, this is the OPA hand. This right here, my little hand piece. She played basketball. I just played basketball with her yesterday. Well, 2 days ago, because it's past 12 now. But yeah, this one right here. Ballin', come on, Knicks. Ballin'. No, it's a joke. But no. My very LA, but I was so happy for the Knicks. I'm not even gonna lie to you. For some reason, that just felt energetically right. It just felt well, sort of a thing. And the fact that the last time they won the championship, weeks later, hip hop began. The last time they won a championship was 1973. Hip hop was born August 11, 73. The last championship they won was 73, around this time, clearly, because that was the finals time. So it's just like all this poetry, man. I know that's going to be one of the first things I talk about when we get back to USC in class. I promise you, all this poetry and this OPA, y'all did y'all big one. Thank you, P, for the engraved, personalized messages on all of the OPA items that people won. No cap, I almost didn't give these people all the pieces. I saw one of them, I was like, hey, yo, but no, I was very happy to share the gift that you guys, Cara and P, share with me every time I come up there to the Citadel at OPA _ collection. The love, the energy, the community that you guys built around there, with our boys. And I'm thinking of, who did you just do the ear piercing, P? You just did it for him and his mom and his sister. You know what I'm saying? My gay baby. I can't think. It's not Ernesto. What is his name? It's something like that. And I owe him a sticker. My point is, I ain't forgot about him and I ain't forgot about y'all. But I just, everything you guys have been to me in this past year, stuff that we don't talk about here on the pod, but you guys know, I'm so thankful. My stack, my little stack up here. Hello. Okay. She's stacked in the back and in the front. Hello. All right. There's a stack. What P say? I know that's right. Like in real life too, though. All my pieces, my belly chain, my anklets. Thank y'all. Thank you for everything you do. Paulette, wait till you get back. Because I know you in all these fairs and stuff like that. Wait till you get back. I got something for you. Plus your birthday is coming up August 17th. Don't think I forgot. Again, you just do good for no good reason. And that's what we do. And that's what she said. No, I'm gifting. These are sponsored by OPA. You ain't paying me nothing. Oh, girl, watch this. Whoop, whoop, sleeves up. Watch this. Oh, man. So we got it. 13%'s got her something. Very nice. So type energy. Love that woman. I love both of those ladies. And last but never least, at Raise It Up Y, RAISEITUP, and all the love say. Wait, I didn't say why. At RAISEITUPWY, Raise It Up Wyann, me, hello. Raise It Up Y, and all the love say rockets up on these hoes. Listen, guys, this episode went a little longer, but I knew that the conversation was going to be good with all the recapping and stuff like that. Hey, you're good. You listening, looking in at me. Look at me. Lock in, kid. You're good. Okay? Just do the good that you are for no good reason. Right where you are. Nobody owes you anything. You don't need somebody to affirm anything further than that. Hey, guess who owes you something? Not a soul. Not your daddy, not your mama, not the government, not nobody. Nobody owes you anything. You're good. Do your good at your level. Set your goal for where you think you want to go and let life bring you there. The word let implies allow. Allow life to bring you to whatever your next chapter is, your next level. As a person healing from a broken heart, I've lived this and am still living this and trusting this. And baby, trust and believe me, all of what's on the other side of what they say, the level of grief only lets you know the level that you loved. Baby, listen, it's all coming. Everything that you think you're deserving of in this life, you do deserve it. So give it. If you can think it, it's in you, so you've got it. Go give it. No, I need someone to mentor me. I need things for me. Go become a mentor. But you don't understand. I need money. Start donating places. 20 cents. 17 cents. Open up a Roth IRA. Put 51 cents in there with Fidelity because they don't have a no minimum. Just start doing, because what you're proving to yourself is what you believe you think you are for the future. No, you're only talking about it because it's already in your head. If it's already in your head as an idea, if you can have it in your brain, you can have it in your hand. It's already in you. You're good. You're okay. This life is weird and crazy and wildin', and I get that. And you're okay. Make room for both of those. Polar opposites. Dialectical behavior and concepts say, I radically accept things as they are, and as improvement in my life comes, I'm ready to change. Two opposing opposites that both hold truth. You're okay. You're okay. I want to say that as many times as you need to hear it for you to believe it. Take this part, rewind it, live it. Whatever you're going through, keep going. You're okay. I didn't say it was easy. I said you're okay. All right? So, in this episode of Raise It Up Why, I also just want to say thank you from the bottomest of my heart, the depths of my heart, to every single one of you who helped LuvLoungeLiveLA 2026 be a thing. For each one of your conversations in the Luv Lounge, every time we have them on Instagram at Wyanna, WYANNA, if you want to come join one of our live streams. If we just happen to have a good talk over there with Kara and P at OPA, thank you for your time and your non-refundable energy there. Thank you for every time someone stops me at the Blue Note in Los Angeles to say, hey, that word that you said on one of your last clips of the podcast, that helped me. Or A, I got to see you with Slum Village when you were here, or Terrace Martin when you were here, or Crip Walking with Rhapsody when you were here. Rhapsody has new music out. Get ready for her new album, God's Got an Afro and Gold Hoops. Let's talk about that. Those things. Thank you. Thank you. Gratitude, appreciation, and there's so much thanks here. And with that, I will say, appreciate you. Stay. Boom cat. Bow, bow, bow. Daddy bow.
Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up.